Dear students, in today's video, our discussion is on radiation chemistry. Radiation chemistry. This radiation chemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with the chemical reaction takes place by the irradiation of highly energetic radiations like alpha radiation, alpha particles, beta radiation, gamma and X-rays. So, these radiations are highly energetic radiations. When these radiations are irradiated on chemical substances, drastic change, a complicated reaction takes place because of their energy. In last video we have used UV and visible region. UV and visible radiations are mild, less energy radiations. Their energy is between 1 to 12 electron volt, very low energetic radiations. So, therefore, we can study the mechanism of these reactions easily, whereas the reactions due to all these strong radiations, the reactions are very complicated and the energy is more than 100 electron volt. But these radiations, the radiochemical reactions are very useful in determining the biological reactions, how these radiations are used for the biological therapy, and to study the biological reactions, how these radiations affect inside our body, how these radiations affect proteins, fats, nucleic acids. So, all these will be affected by these radiations. Now, these radiations are highly energetic radiations. When these radiations are irradiated on a chemical substance, when this radiation is irradiated on a substance or on a material M, because of very high energy, immediately it undergoes ionization. It undergoes ionization and the time taken for this ionization is very less. It is of the order of 10 to the power of minus 12 seconds. So, within a very fraction of a second, these substances undergoes ionization, and this we call it as first stage of ionization, first stage of reaction. So, in this process, ionization takes place. So, these ions produced after ionization are highly energetic and they undergo a number of reactions, disintegration and reaction with other substances, and a number of intermediates are formed. Hence, a number of products are formed by this. But in the beginning stage, in the first stage, an ion pair is formed. This is the first stage. In the second stage of the reaction, this ionic pair undergoes excitation and the excited molecule is formed, or this excited molecule disintegrates to produce free radicals A dot and B dot, or this M plus undergoes reaction to produce M2 plus 2 electrons, or this A dot undergoes reaction with the negative particle electron produced here to produce A plus 2 electrons, or this excited electron, it can undergo ionization to form A plus and B, like that. A number of intermediates are formed by the irradiation of highly energetic radiations. These intermediates, these products, these products, they combine among themselves to form a variety of products. Here this A dot, this A dot can take up, it may combine again to form AB product, or B dot, it may combine with another B dot to form B2. Similarly, A dot combine with another A dot, like this. A variety of products are formed by the combination, by the association of the intermediates formed here. So, this radiation is highly energetic. It produces a number of products, a number of intermediates which combine together to give a number of products. So, this first stage of reaction is important. In this first step of the reaction, ionization takes place, and in the second step, this ionized products, they undergo a number of disintegrations to form a number of, like this, a number of intermediates are formed. These intermediates, they join together to form the product. So, that is the mechanism, stepwise mechanism of this radiochemical reaction. Here, the important stage is, first stage, formation of ions. Therefore, the amount of the product, the yield of the product formed depends on the formation of this ionic pair. That is why we measure the yield of this radiochemical reaction by ionic yield, or ion pair yield. So, the yield, the product formation, the amount of the product, the efficiency of this radiochemical reaction is measured in terms of its yield, ionic yield or ion pair yield. The first step of the reaction is formation of ionic pair. That is very important to decide the amount of the product formed. This ionic yield can be defined as, the ratio of number of molecules reacted by number of ion pairs formed, Therefore, this ionic yield it depends on the number of ions formed there. Number of ions are more. If the number of ions are more, number of the molecules that reacted will be more. Hence, the ionic yield is also more. So, because it is calculated on the basis of the number of molecules, we can use another quantity to express the yield, that we call it as energy yield. So, we can express the amount of the product formed or efficiency of this radiation, either by ionic yield expression or by expressing the yield by energy terms. Energy yield is defined as the number of molecules reacted over 100 electron volt of energy consumed. So, therefore, the radiation is expressed in terms of energy electron volts. 100 electron volt, if it absorbed, how many reactants they react, that we can calculate. By taking this ratio, we can express the efficiency of the reaction in terms of energy yield. Energy yield, we use energy in electron volts, number of molecules reacted by 100 electron volt energy used. Therefore, we can express the yield in two terms, ionic yield as well as energy yield. Now, how to measure, how to determine the energy yield or ionic yield in a radiochemical reaction? For that purpose, we use an instrument called dosimeter. Dosimeter. Camera akade tilusu. The instrument dosimeter. This dosimeter is used to measure the ionic yield or energy yield of a radiochemical reaction. In this dosimeter, we use a solution of ferrous sulfate 0.4 grams and sodium chloride isotopic form 0.06 grams plus 22 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid, 0.4 grams of Mohr salt, 0.4 grams of ferrous ammonium sulfate, Mohr salt, ferrous ammonium sulfate, 0.06 grams of sodium chloride isotopic, and 22 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid, and made of this solution to 1 liter. 1 liter. So this is iron solution, and this solution is called Frick solution. So this Frick solution, if you use in the dosimeter, it is called Frick dosimeter. Frick dosimeter is used to determine the dosage of the radiochemical reaction. In this dosimeter, if Frick solution is used, Frick solution is a mixture of Mohr salt solution, sodium chloride solution, and sulfuric acid made up to 1 liter, and this solution is Frick solution, and this solution is used in Frick dosimeter. So what is the procedure? To know the efficiency of the reaction? The procedure is, this Frick solution is irradiated with the radiation, any radiation, alpha, beta, gamma radiation. Frick solution is irradiated. When this is irradiated, what happens here? Ferrous ion of this Frick solution undergoes oxidation to form ferric ion. So usually, actually, oxidation of Fe2 plus takes place here in Frick solution. So when radiation is irradiated on Frick solution, oxidation of ferrous ion to ferric ion takes place. Here, the amount of ferrous ion that is oxidized to ferric ion depends on the energy of the radiation. It is observed that for each 100 electron volt of energy, 15.5 ions, ferric ions undergoes oxidation. 15.5 ions per 100 electron volt. That is the standard reaction. For every 100 electron volt, 15.5 ions of ferrous ions, they undergo oxidation here. So therefore, before irradiation, the amount of ferrous ion is estimated. Before that, to know the concentration of ferrous ion, it is titrated against potassium dichromate, potassium permanganate you can use, potassium permanganate solution. You can find out the concentration of Fe2 plus, and after some time of irradiation, the amount of ferrous ion is determined. The difference gives you the amount of ferrous ion which is oxidized, or you can also determine the amount of ferric ion by spectrophotometric method by using 400 nanometer filter. Use this radiation and estimate the amount of ferric ion spectrophotometrically using thiocyanate ion as the complexing agent. Therefore, you can find out the amount of ferrous ion that is oxidized to ferric ion, and now you calculate how much of ferrous ion is oxidized to ferric ion, and we know that 15.5 ions consumes 100 electron volt. Therefore, the number of ions here undergoes reaction consumes how much of energy. So you can find out the energy here. and after that you can take the substance under study and you irradiate that substance, and during that reaction other substances formed, water, it may undergo decomposition to form hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen peroxide. So many products are formed because we are using aqueous solution in this reaction, but the formation of hydrogen, hydrogen peroxide, oxygen, all of them are consumed during this oxidation. Therefore, this will not interfere with the oxidation reaction. The amount of the amount of energy in terms of electron volts which is consumed by this ferrous ion for this oxidation can be estimated. That is the principle and calculation of Frick dosimeter. So, therefore, Frick dosimeter is used to know the dosage, to know the amount of radiation consumed by the reaction, and by this method we can measure the amount of radiation absorbed by any of the reactants. So, after knowing the amount of energy consumed by the reaction in the Frick dosimeter, what are the units of this dosimetry we are using? Units of dosimetry. How to express the amount of energy absorbed in this dosimeter? We use different types of units to express the dosage. First one is rad. Rad of number of rads consumed by the reactant. Number of rad. One rad is defined as 100 ergs. 100 ergs per gram of the reactant. 100 ergs per gram of the reactant. So, we can express the units in terms of rad. One rad is nothing but 100 ergs of energy. This is in CGS units. CGS units, 100 ergs per gram. This can also be expressed in terms of electron volts. One rad is equal to 6.24 into 10 to the power of 13 electron volt per gram. We can also express in terms of electron volt, which has got a very high value, 6.24 into 10 to the power of 13 electron volt per gram, but in CGS units we use in terms of 100 ergs per gram. This unit of dosimetry can also be expressed in SI units. In SI units, we use the name Gray. Gray in CGS unit, 1 joule per kg. 1 joule per kg, this is GY, Gray. 1 Gray, the unit, this Gray, its value is 1 joule per kg. 1 joule per 1 kg of the substance consumes 1 joule of energy. You can convert this into rads. This becomes 100 rads. 100 rads. Little bit higher value, which is equal to 1 joule per kg. This is the SI unit and this is the CGS unit. In SI unit, we can express this amount of radiation absorbed in terms of joules per kg, SI unit. Some cases in some gaseous reactions, these are all aqueous reactants we are using. In gaseous reaction, suppose if you carry out the reaction gaseous state, how to express this unit of dosimetry? We express that in terms of Rontgen. Rontgen is the unit of dosimetry used to express the amount of radiation absorbed in gaseous state. It is defined as Rontgen. It is defined as the number of electron volts consumed by the ionization of 1 cc of air. 1 cc of air at STP. It is defined as the amount of the number of electron volts consumed when 1 cc of air is completely ionized at STP. Ionized. The amount of energy required to ionize 1 cc of air at STP, that unit we call it as Rontgen. It is observed that 1 Rontgen is denoted by R. 1 Rontgen is equal to 0.87 rads. 0.87 rad. This is the old unit. This is for the gaseous reactants, Rontgen. 1 Rontgen is the amount of energy required to ionize 1 cc of pure air at STP, that is called Rontgen. This is for gaseous state. Now, let us see the different steps involved in the radiochemical reaction. What are the products formed and how they are produced, that we shall study here by taking water as an example. Water as an example. Now, let us study one by one this radiolysis of different reactants. Radiolysis. Radiolysis. Now, what is actually radiolysis? Radiolysis is nothing but the disintegration of a substance by irradiation of highly energetic radiochemical, highly energetic radiations, alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays, X-rays, etc. So, breaking of a molecule by this irradiation into different products is called radiolysis. Now, let us study radiolysis of some substances. First one is radiolysis of water. Now, how this radiolysis of water takes place? Now, actually, when the biological specimens are irradiated by this radiation, high energy radiation inside the body, how these water molecules, they undergo disintegration to form various products, and what are the side effects of this radiolysis of water, let us study. So, in the radiolysis of water, when high energy radiation, say like gamma radiation, is irradiated on water molecule, the first step of the reaction is formation of ion pair. This undergoes ionization to form H2O plus electron, first stage of the reaction. The first stage of the reaction is formation of ion pair. In the second stage of the radiolysis, these ions which are produced, they undergo a number of reactions. Number of reactions are this H2O ion which combines with electron, it may undergo excitation to form excited water molecule. This excited water molecule disintegrate to form H dot and OH dot. Free radicals are produced. Now, instead of that, this H2O plus, it can undergo disintegration to form H plus and OH radical. Or this H2O plus can also react with another water molecule to form a special product, that is hydroxy peroxide radical. Hydroxy peroxide radical is formed plus hydroxy peroxide plus hydrogen plus H dot, like that. Number of products are formed because it is a complicated reaction. Similarly, this H2O plus can react with the electron to produce H plus, 2H plus and oxygen, or this H2O can react with oxygen molecule to form HO2 plus O. A number of products are formed, disintegration of the intermediates to form a number of products. Products are free radicals, hydroxy free radical, hydrogen free radical, hydrogen ion, hydroxide free radical, hydroperoxide, hydrogen molecule, and this O, 2O, that combines to form oxygen molecule. Like that, a variety of reactions are possible in the radiochemical reaction of water. Radiolysis of water involves the formation of a number of intermediates. Now, this is the second step of the reaction, second stage of the process. in the first process ion pair is formed, in the second process a number of intermediates are formed. Now, at the end, after the radiation is stopped, these radicals they combine to form a variety of products. Now, this H dot free radical, this OH dot, it combines to form water, or OH dot plus OH dot free radicals, it forms hydrogen peroxide. O and O combines to form oxygen molecule, then H dot plus OH dot, it can again combine to form water molecule, and H2OH and hydroxy peroxide HO2 dot plus H dot, it forms a hydrogen peroxide. So, like this a number of reactions involved at the end to form a varieties of products. So, this type of reaction, radiochemical reaction, takes place with water. This is the speciality of this radialis of water. Now, when these radiations are irradiated on the animals or biosystem inside the body, there is a lot of water in any living organism. This water, it undergoes disintegration by the effect of these radiations, and these intermediates they react with a variety of organic substances present in the body, proteins, carbohydrates and fats, oils and fats, proteins, nucleic acids. Like this, a number of molecules are targeted for this reaction. The variety of complications that take place in this radiolysis of water inside the body. And this radiation can also be used to cure a number of diseases like cancer, or any type of disease can be cured by irradiating that affected cell by these highly energetic radiations, and that is the advantage of the study of this radiolysis of water. So, similarly we can study another reaction, that is radiolysis of acetic acid. Radiolysis of acetic acid. In this radiolysis of acetic acid, when acetic acid is irradiated with highly energetic radiation, it forms of course a electron pair COOH plus electron pair is formed. This is the first step of the reaction. Now, these ions they undergo disintegration to form a variety of products in the second step of the reaction. Therefore, the second step of this reaction gives a number of intermediates, that is CH3COOH plus, it gives CH3COO minus CH3COO dot plus H plus, CH3COO dot plus H plus. This CH3COO dot, it disintegrates to form CH3 dot and CO2. This CH3 dot is formed, CH3COO dot is formed, and another intermediate formed is CH3COOH plus. CH3COOH plus gives rise to CH3COO dot, CH3COO dot plus H plus, CH3COO dot plus H plus. This CH3COO dot it changes, CH3COO dot gives rise to CH2COOH dot. All these products CH3 dot final stage of the reaction takes place. CH3 dot combines with another CH3 dot to form ethane, or CH2COOH dot combines with another CH2COOH dot to form succinic acid, CH2COOH, CH2COOH, and this CH3COO dot disintegrates to form carbon and CH3 dot combines to form ethane, and H dot combines with another H dot to form H2. Like that, a number of products are formed by the combination of the intermediates. So, in the first step of the reaction, ion pair is formed. When acetic acid is irradiated with a highly energetic radiation, ion pair is formed. This is the first step of the reaction. In the second step, these ions produced in the first stage, they disintegrate to form a number of intermediates. Like acetate radical H plus, acetate radical undergo disintegration to form methyl radical and carbon dioxide, or acetate ion, the positive ion, it gives a radical. This radical, it undergoes combination to form succinic acid, ethane, succinic acid, carbon dioxide, hydrogen. A number of products are formed, and this is the radiochemical reaction of acetic acid. Now, let us see the another radiochemical. Take up another example, that is radiolysis of benzene. Radiolysis of benzene. When benzene is irradiated by a high energy radiation, alpha, beta, gamma radiation, of course, as usual, first step of this reaction is formation of ion pair C6H plus electron formed. This is the first step. In the second step, this ion C6H6 plus, it combines with the electron to form excited molecule C6H6 star, excited molecule. This excited molecule disintegrate. C6H6 excited molecule gives rise to C6H5 dot plus H dot, or C6H6 plus, it can undergo dissociation to form C6H5 plus plus hydrogen, and C6H5 plus, it can give another ion C6H4 2 plus hydrogen, and so on. A number of intermediates are formed in the second step of the reaction. Now, in the third step of the reaction, that is after the irradiation is stopped, these intermediate radicals, they combine together to form the product. The main product in this case is formation of a combination of phenyl radical C6H5 dot, C6H5 dot. The main product is C6H5, that is diphenyl. So, diphenyl is the main product here. Diphenyl is formed, or H dot combines with H dot to form hydrogen ion, hydrogen molecule. Similarly, these ions, intermediate ions, these ions, they combine together, to form a variety of products. Therefore, the radiochemical reaction of benzene is complicated. The main product is diphenyl. Apart from the main product, a number of other products are formed by the combination of the intermediates produced during the second stage of the reaction. That is the radiolysis of benzene. Now, we have studied these radiochemical reactions, and how this mechanism was proposed, by whom this mechanism was proposed. This mechanism of radiochemical reactions is very complicated and very drastic because of very high energy. Therefore, two theories was put forward to explain the mechanism of radiochemical reaction. Two theories were were proposed. First theories of radiolysis. Theories of radiolysis. First theory is Lind's theory. Lind's theory or Lind's cluster theory. So this theory explains how different products are formed when irradiated with the highly energetic radiation. He proposed that when radiation falls on a molecule, of course, first step is formation of ion pair. That is true. Formation of ion pair. Ion pair is formed. But he proposed that this ion pair which is formed, this combines with a number of molecules. This combines with a number of molecules to form a cluster. So this is the cluster. So around this ion, a number of neutral molecules, they are crowded here. That is because of the energy present in this ion. These molecules, they surrounds this ion to form a cluster. M plus m n times is the cluster. This cluster undergoes disintegration to give the products. That's why a number of products yield is more, because the energetic ion which is formed here, that undergoes the next step of the reaction by forming the cluster. Because of the energy in this ion, a cluster is formed. For example, in the synthesis of ammonia, synthesis of ammonia, when nitrogen and hydrogen are irradiated by a strong energy radiation, ammonia is formed. 2NH3, ammonia is formed. Now he proposed that first this nitrogen takes up the energy radiation and converted into N2 plus and electron. This N2 plus, it undergoes cluster formation with a number of hydrogen molecules as well as number of nitrogen molecules. Number of hydrogen and number of hydrogen molecules and number of hydrogen molecules. It forms a cluster. This cluster disintegrates to form ammonia. That is the theory. The theory, Lind's cluster theory, says that when reactants are irradiated with a high energy radiations, first of course ion pair is formed. This ion pair combines with the unionized molecule, unreacted molecule. They form a cluster. These clusters they disintegrate to form the product. That is Lind's cluster theory. Lind's cluster theory is also studied by taking another example, that is reaction of acetylene, C2H2, reaction of acetylene. What happens when acetylene is irradiated with gamma radiation? Of course, as mechanism says, the first stage of this reaction is C2H2 plus electron. This ion which is formed here, C2H2 plus, it combines with a number of unionized molecules, neutral molecules, to form the cluster C2H2 plus and C2H2 n times. So C2H2, a cluster of acetylene molecules around this ion is formed. Now this cluster C2H2 plus C2H2 n times undergoes disintegration, and the acetylene molecule which is produced here, it undergoes combination to form a polymer C2H2 n times. Like that, this cluster undergoes disintegration to form the product. That is the theory. That is Lind's cluster theory. So, Lind's cluster theory, why a large amount of product is formed by using a small amount of radiation. But according to photochemistry, each product, each reactant molecule absorbs one photon, but here it is not like that. One unit of radiation converts thousands of molecules into products. That is because the cluster is formed around the reacted molecule, and that is the reason why a large amount of the product is formed and a number of intermediates are formed. That is because of this cluster theory. But cluster theory cannot explain all the reactions, because the intermediates formed, excited molecules formed, they supply energy to other molecules and the reaction takes place, and this is not applicable to all the reactants. That is why another theory called EHT theory. EHT theory was proposed. In this EHT theory is nothing but Hirschfelder-Taylor theory. Actually, in this theory, what happens when radiation is applied to a molecule, the theory says that two types of reaction takes place there. One type of reaction is it undergoes ionization to form M plus electron ionization, as proposed by the earlier theory. Ionization takes place, and this ion pair undergoes further reaction to give the product. Therefore, but in the second case, what happens? In the second case, it absorbs a variety of radiation, and undergoes excited molecule. So, there are two processes when irradiated. When a molecule is irradiated, two types of process takes place. One is ionization to form ion pair, another one is excitation. So, this excited molecule undergoes several steps to form the product, and this ion pair which is formed, that also undergoes several steps to form the product. Therefore, there are two ways of forming the product. That is the theory. EHT theory says that the product is not formed in one step, in one mechanism. A number of steps are there. So, two ways are there. One is ionization process, another one is excitation process. Both ionized product and excited product, they undergo further process to give the product. So, that is why this EHT theory explains the formation of a huge amount of the product by small amount of radiation, that is radiation theory. So, these are the fundamentals of radiation theory, radiation chemistry. So, you study all these things, and this is the mechanism, and these are the theories for radiochemical reactions. Thank you.